Going Deep podcast, we got Robby Anderson of the Carolina Panthers, wide receiver, formerly the New York Jets. Robby, welcome to the program.
Appreciate it. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. So really quickly, we're about to hop on. So you and Willie did not overlap with the Jets. So Willie, you were done in what, 2015?
16. I wasn't on the team at 16, but I was around.
Okay. So have you guys met before?
We met a couple times. Yeah, functions, outings. He was at Quincy and Newman's wedding.
Oh, okay.
A lot of folks know Quincy married my cousin, so that's pretty much the situation.
So he's seen you getting loose.
I don't think there's too many people who haven't seen me. I don't think he's the only one that's privy to that.
Okay. So Robby, obviously a huge year for you, and I want to get into everything with the Panthers and free agency and signing there last year. But I got to ask, I was doing some research on you. What kind of jewelry you're rocking right now? Because you have an incredible jewelry collection.
Yeah, right now I forgot to put on some jewelry this morning. It's in my book bag. I ain't putting that on today, but I got a couple of pieces with nothing too major.
What's your favorite piece for people who are not familiar?
I'll say my favorite piece is probably my Sideshow Bob piece from The Simpsons. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite, I'd say, and my AP.
Hey, okay. Rob, I want to ask you, man. You know, you've obviously made the transition going to Carolina. You really flourished, and you're really doing a hell of a job down there. When you look back at your time with the Jets, man, is there anything you regret or anything you kind of look back and like, man, I could have did that better, or I wish I would have had more time with this guy, or we could have did X, Y, Z? Is there a checklist that you kind of go through in your own mind?
I honestly feel like in New York, I really feel like I emptied the tank. I just feel like, it's like, I would say like the main thing I would probably say is like I spoke with my coach about this when I got to Carolina, my receiver coach, Coach Frizz. He asked me, what's the one thing that if you could go back in New York and change, what would it be? And I honestly said maybe not letting like my frustrations get to me at like times when I wasn't getting the ball as much. And instead of letting my frustrations get the most of me, just, keeping my composure. So when I did get the ball, I probably capitalized a little bit more or, appreciate it a little bit. But, it's a thin line between that when, you're a competitor and you're a receiver and you know what you're capable of and you contribute to winning. So it's kind of tough. But I personally, honestly feel like when I was in New York, I know every day I was giving my all and everything. And I know I don't really feel like I sit back and be like, dang, I wish I would have worked a little harder or, I would have gave a little bit more. I know what I put in and know what I gave. So I really don't feel like I walked away from New York from no regrets on my end because I knew my mission was to try and win a championship beside more than anything,
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, man, especially because I was at the time when you were tearing it up, and at one point you was the only threat the Jets had when it came to throwing the ball. There was a lot of talk about, your maturity and antics and things that were going on in the locker room, the Jets as a whole. And I love the response you just gave, man, because it sounds like you're a guy who, when I watch you down in Carolina, you look like two different people. You look like a collected receiver. You play like a collected receiver. Your body presence and how you approach the game, you look like a pro. And I think sometimes it's not fair to athletes, and I throw my hat in that ring too, that the media, the people, fans don't give you time to mature, right? Because you was a guy who came from Temple, who back was against the wall, all odds were against you. You made the most of your ability, but you still had to grow up as an individual. You still had to grow up as a man. And here, when I remember your first game in Carolina, man, and I said this, I think I was talking to Bart Scott at the time. I was like, he looks happy. He looks like he has like he's turned the page and he looks like he's more collected. And I can just remember you, I think it was after a touchdown, you didn't give too much of a celebration, but you just kind of gave me that, you kind of give the world that shoulder shrug, like I'm in this bitch. And I really appreciate it. And I think sometimes, man, athletes they're not allowed to get the second chance until they either move on or, until something happens where they're forced to kind of rewrite their own script. So I congratulate you on really going down to Carolina and continuing being the best you could be, man. I think you've matured in a lot of different ways.
Now, for sure, I appreciate that a lot, man. I genuinely do. And, like, I feel like the biggest thing in New York was, like, it was like I was walking around, like, the difference between Carolina and New York was in New York, I was walking around and I had to prove everybody wrong. Everybody had a misconception about me, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, I had my issues, you know what I'm saying? But that, to me, I got in trouble and whatever happened, it was over and done with. That was that, you know what I'm saying? I moved past that immediately after it happened. I know what really entailed and what really happened, whatever was put out, that's not always true, you know what I'm saying? But I never really spoke on that. I just moved past it. And it was just like, even as a player, for whatever reason, they thought all I could do was do this. Even though in practice, every day, I did more than just that. So it was just like, I had a lot of built up frustration being there. Like, I genuinely, I wanted to make things right, but it was like I just was not given the chance to be who I was. And, I had all these misconceptions around me. I tried my best not to let it affect me. But, when you steady walking in, in a place where, people looking at you in a way that you're not and had this built up idea about you, it's like, fuck it, why am I gonna sit here and try and prove y'all wrong? I'm just trying to prove me right. And I just felt a lot of times I felt stuck. There was multiple times teams tried to trade for me, and it's like, y'all not using me to the best of my ability. Why don't y'all trade me? And then even when you look back at it, my last year there, trade rumors XYZ. Y'all don't trade me and then y'all don't pay me. So what was the point of that? Like, why didn't y'all let me go out and flourish? Is what that y'all wanted to hold me back because y'all let me walk out the door for nothing. So it was a lot of politics and a lot of things that genuinely was out of my control. But towards my last year in New York, that's when I genuinely found peace with the situation because I knew, at the end of the day, this is in God's hands, and I know what's meant for me is gonna be for me. So I'm not gonna let me not getting the ball, me not getting targets. Everybody sees that there's BS. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that I'm a threat. Everybody knows I'm a playmaker. And if you know, you know. So I'm not going to let this make me be unhappy high because it was to a point where when I was in New York and I leave games and like I generally was not happy. Like I really ain't want to be there. I didn't even used to want to go to the building. There was not one day in Carolina like I used to be excited to wake up and go to the building in the morning. Like I stayed there later, like on Fridays, I'd be in there till like 3 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like working, doing this, doing that. Like in Carolina, I knew what it was with Coach Rule. Work hard, go hard, have respect, stand on your principles as a man and handle your business. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was clear cut, simple. So I genuinely can say like, it's like, I'm not going to ever say I lost my love for football, but I lost my love for football being a Jet because it just wasn't the right fit for me. And I was stuck due to contracts and, all those things. But, I appreciate you recognizing that, that means a lot to me. And I know everybody else saw that. And, I came into Carolina with a mission. It wasn't nothing about even proving the Jets wrong or nothing like that. It was about proving me right and proving my supporters right. I could care less about, who's against me,
I love that. I love it.
So, Robby, going back to what you're saying about how you kind of lost, the love for being a Jet, was it just a cultural thing, like a ownership, like the head coach? I mean, the teammates. I mean, what was it exactly that when you were there, you're just like, man, I don't want to be here anymore?
It was just, one thing I'll never forget. It was after my second year. I fell short. I fell short of 1,000 yards. We weren't going to the playoffs, and I remember it was the last game we played New England. And we got our ass beat. And I'm looking around, I'm seeing people smiling and laughing. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the season's over. And I'm like that. I was just pissed. I'm like, we happy that the season's done. Like, we're not going to the playoffs, no chance of the Super Bowl. And people happy because now we get all this little free time to sit around and do this and that. So it was just like, there was like a handful, like literally like a handful of guys that really like was bought into winning. You know what I'm saying? There was just a lot of other people I just personally feel like was just there just to be there. And to each his own, but that's not what I want to be a part of. Like I'm trying to be a champion. Like I don't want to walk out the NFL. I never played in the playoffs. I never won a championship. Like that's my goals. Besides myself, you know what I'm saying? Like that's bigger than everything. Like I'm a sore loser. Like I want to win. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time when I was in New York, I told them boys, me in the locker room, like, I said, I've been losing my whole life. I ain't get this far and get to the big stage to be a loser. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just like, Todd Bowles, I feel like Todd Bowles was a great coach, but his hands was tied in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? And then when Adam Gase came in, it's like, I'm not going to say he was there to make us lose, but it was like losing was acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like losing and should never be acceptable and okay and looked as a stepping stone because it's taking steps back, So I just feel like everybody wasn't bought into being champions, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't clash with that. So that's why I didn't see eye to eye and didn't vibe certain things because I'm here to win. I'm not here to lose,
Yeah, cool.
So on that note, when Todd Bowles left and Adam Gase was the hire, at the time it was seen as potentially, a good hire. He'd worked with Peyton Manning. He'd been down in Miami and had some success. But there was the New York media is something else. I know Willie's talked about this where we got the New York Post, the Daily News. Everyone has their own headline. Everyone trying to be cynics. And Adam Gase in his opening press conference has these blank stares. As players, did that mean anything to you guys? Did you kind of like do a double take and be like, this is the guy that's going to be leading us? Or is that all just for talk media?
See me, I didn't look all into all that goofiness like that, and pay really no mind. My mind was, Coach Adam Gase sold me a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like from the jump, I went up there and, he kind of told me like, look, this is going to be this and that. So, I was balled in, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited. I'm like, okay, I'm finally going to get this opportunity to do this. He's done this with these receivers. He's had this kind of success. And then, you could say the situation happened with Sam and Sam missed time and that altered things and this and that. But I just feel like at the end of the day, getting your playmakers the ball, I say this all the time, football is not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? It's football. Get your playmakers the ball, let them make plays, let them do what they're good at, and let them contribute to putting up points. And I just feel like I came into the season on a positive note. And, I believed him, you know what I'm saying? It's a new coach. I'm not going to go against him because that's not going to do nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of people had a lot of high hopes for Adam Gase and things like that due to the fact he worked with Peyton Manning and things like that. But we have to always remember, not to discredit Adam Gase, but Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? Like he's who he is on his own, regardless of any coach. Like he was the coach, if you want to be honest, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that a lot of times in this profession, a lot of people get a lot of credit they don't deserve and a lot of respect that they didn't earn,
I want to piggyback. I want to just spin back, and this comment is really for Stephen, Che, and Joey and our listeners. You made a comment. You said when you got to Carolina, man, you stayed extra in the locker room. You was leaving late. I want to tell you, when my time in Pittsburgh and winning and going to the playoffs and doing all of that, the whole team did that. Like we never left the locker room. We were always around each other. And I think for the listeners, and especially people who've never been in the locker room, when you see guys drag their feet leaving the locker room, when you see guys hang out in the cafeteria, when you see guys after a hard day's practice, shower up, put on their street clothes, or you keep their gym clothes on, throw the ice bags on and continue to watch film with their brother, that's called a happy home. That's called a happy home. And I had the opportunity of talking to Demario Davis, who's an ex-Jet, who I'm close with. Our families are close. I used to preach to him while he was a Jet, what does a winning culture look like? And I used to talk about how we ate together, we never left the locker room, and all the things Robby just said. And when Demario got to New Orleans, the first thing out of his mouth was like, bruh, like, we do everything around each other. We eat, we sleep. And so when it comes Sunday, it's easy to turn it on. You know what I mean? It's not fake. And I think what Robby's tone is and how he's talking in context, he goes, he's right. Football is not rocket science. When it's real and it's right, it's easy to do. When there's obstacles along the way, then players feel a disconnect and there's things aren't going on. And then you have half the locker room who's committed to winning and half the locker room is committed to doing whatever the fuck else. That's called a losing culture. That's called a bad home. So that's what Robby's speaking on. So I wanted to just highlight that, because when you said that, I'm like, boom, he gets it now. He understands that when you make it to the big stage, it doesn't have to be hard, right? Like the movies and the television shows sell you like, oh, there's the evil doctor in the bed that gives you the bad shot, or there's a crooked coach, or there's the asshole player who's jealous of your spot. That's all bullshit. The locker room is supposed to be a family atmosphere. The locker room is supposed to be. It's talking about one team trying to commit one attempt, one goal, and achieve it in 1 year, and you only have 3 months to do it. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes I think when I'm because you said that, Robby, and my heart like jumped because I'm like he's finally in a situation where he's starting to see what NFL footballs are supposed to look like when men are committed to the one goal. So that's I just want to go back and go on that little rant. I want to pivot and push along to Carolina, man. I think you've done a great. Once again, I think you've done a great job transitioning. But number two, where are you right now as far as like goals? Because I think for a guy in your position, I think you've quieted the naysayers. You're doing a lot of good things. People know your name. Where are you at as far as like, all right, now I got to be this guy. Now I want to do this. You know, there's a lot. We talk about AJ Green. He just got a deal he's going to be an Arizona Cardinal. You talk about some of these people bouncing around. Where's Robby Anderson as far as like season goals? Where's your head at?
I mean, first and foremost, I mean, from a personal standpoint, my biggest goal this year is to really step up as a vocal leader. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting to that veteran phase in my career. I'm going into year 6. You know what I'm saying? Like I have all these, you know, I've seen a lot, I've learned a lot, and I've really been like, since this all season started, I've really been in like a step out of my skin type of, you know, look at myself from the outside looking in. Like I've been studying little clips of myself throughout the game and, you know, body language, things like that. So I'm on a real, like, really emerge into, you know, a vocal leader and, you know, lead with more than, because like last year I came in, you know, new situation, you know, head down, work, whatever. But this year it's, you know, still the same process of working, but still leading with my voice and, you know, teaching the younger guys, you know, because, you know, one thing I learned, you know, and with me is like, I feel like when I speak, you know, people listen because I'm a man of not too much of words, but it's hard spoken, you know. So that's really my biggest thing is to, you know, lead my team, be more of a leader from that aspect, you know, turning up a notch from my work aspect. You know, you can never work too hard and, you know, win the NFC South and, you know, be a championship. Like the day after the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, I text Coach Roy, I said, I love the fact that we get to play the Super Bowl champs 2 times a year. You know, we get to measure up against the best of the best, the considered best of the best from last year, twice in a year. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we're going to be. We can only become the best if we beat the best. So, you know, my mind is on a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Like, and building a dynasty, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in Carolina for the rest of my career. I genuinely feel like that's going to be the case. And, you know, just elevate from every aspect as a man, you know, with my relationship with my girlfriend, with my family, you know, getting better in every way. And 1% every day is better than taking steps back. So,
Amen.
You know, that's just my mindset. And I know, you know, the statistics and all that stuff will take care of itself the more that you win. You know, if you cool, you get 1,000 yards and you want a losing team, it speaks more volume if you touch 1,200 and you're winning too, because it means something, you know. So that's my mindset is just, you know, be a better leader, win, and continue to improve and work hard and elevate.
Love that.
You mentioned Coach Rule. You know, for those who don't know, you played for him while he was at Temple, while you were at Temple. What's the relationship like with him right now, and how much did he have an impact on bringing you to Carolina?
Man, you know, Coach Rule's like, that's like really like a father figure to me. Like, I know he's gonna tell me right from wrong. I know he's never gonna lead me wrong. Like, he's had my back. He revived me. Like when I was kicked out of school, he brought me back to, you know, give me that last chance and walk a thin line to success. And, you know, I know he got my back, you know, regardless of the fact. So, you know, we locked in for life, you know what I'm saying? And once he went to Carolina, you know, I was like, I already put in my head, like, you know, I'm gonna go to Carolina. You know, when free agency first started, conversation was really there because, you know, finances and things like that. But, you know, it worked itself out. And, you know, I'm pretty sure we locked there for life, you know. I hope so, and I don't doubt it. So, you know, me and Coach Rule, we locked in.
So I got to ask you about something from week 1 of this past season. You guys were mic'd up a game against the Raiders. Obviously a weird off season with, you know, not really getting, you know, full training camp with your teammates and getting acclimated to your new city. You're caught on the sidelines talking to DJ Moore and asking what that bear is. And he tells you it's Sir Purr, the mascot for the Panthers. Have you gotten acquainted with Sir Purr yet?
No, I still haven't. I'm pretty sure once this offseason, kick, like once the season kind of kick off there, I'm pretty sure they'll have like something big set up for me and him to first meet each other and stuff. But I never met never met him yet.
I'm gonna give you 3 names, and I want you to give me one word to describe them. I'm gonna give you 3 names. My 3 names are Teddy Bridgewater, Curtis Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey. Describe each 3 of those gentlemen in one word.
Teddy, I'm gonna give you 2 words: cool and collect. Curtis Samuel is like he's a hidden gem, and then C-Mac, he's just a beast.
Okay.
What's your relationship like with C-Mac?
C-Mac, me and C-Mac, that's my boy. We would like, we text back and forth. I'm actually about to head back to Charlotte and start, me, him, and DJ start working out together and build that bond, that brother bond a little bit more. And really just get to know each other, like, really build that brother bond shit, get to know each other, like, his sights on life and what he's standing on and his motivation and really get to know him from a brother vibe. Last year, we didn't really have a complete off season and things like that. But me and him, we talk football, we talk business and things like that. I love C-Mac, I love what he brings to the table, what he stands for, and he motivates me. I love being around people that motivate me and I can learn from. I'm always trying to learn things. And I came into Carolina, I'm like, C-Mac, one of the best in the league. Let me sit back and see how he operates and what he does so I can add that to what I do. And, I'm pretty sure he does the same. So, I'm really excited for him to come back. I know it's going to make a big difference for our offense too. And, another threat and, make things easier for me and DJ because, Mike Davis is a hell of a running back too. But a lot of teams, they weren't giving him the respect that he deserved and stacking the box and things like that, So I know when C-Mac comes back, that's gonna happen, and me and DJ will be able to get more single coverage, single high coverage, and things like that. And everything come hand in hand together.
Not to cut you off, 1 second, Stephen Che. You talk about you looking for motivation. Google his dad.
Yeah.
Ed McCaffrey was a bad motherfucker white boy in his day. He was
yeah.
You know how like you got that one AU team full of brothers and that one white boy who just happened to crack the starting lineup? That was his dad. Ed McCaffrey back in the day, Stephen Che and Joey can tell you, when it was the days of Terrell Davis and Sterling Sharp and John Elway, Ed McCaffrey was a bad motherfucker who was hard as nose, and he was the first dude that used to have the roll-up shoulder pads real tight and had the gun show every Sunday. So you could check out the Caribbean islands right here. He had the Rocky Mountains right on the tricep. So you can look at C-Mac, but his daddy was a bad boy. Go ahead, Stephen Che.
Yeah, let's stay on receivers. I mean, you just talked about him for a sec. The NFC South is probably the best division in football as far as receivers. We don't know what's going to happen with Antonio Brown right now. The Bucs got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You guys got yourself, DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, obviously. Then Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley certainly are no slouches either. Where do you guys rank yourself in the division? And then talk to me about DJ Moore. Does he need to get talked about more as an elite receiver in this game?
I mean, me and DJ, we don't really like compare ourselves to others. We don't really like. We confident in ourselves. I know me and him. He feels like he's the best. He's working to be the best he could be. I know I'm working out to be the best I can be. We don't really try and look at, how do we stand against others and things like that. So I can't really touch on that. And I just feel like with DJ, in due time, he's gonna get everything he deserves. He's just gonna just keep doing what he's doing. If it gets recognized, it doesn't. If it does, it does. He's not too big on all that. Like he's like calm, collective guy, and it's like when he does things, it looks so easy and nonchalant because that's just him. It's easy to him. Like he's really out there. It's not even breaking a sweat. But I don't even think he's even like nowhere near his full potential yet. Like he's just breaking the surface and he's already putting up numbers and doing things at a high level. So he's only going to continue to elevate.
Man, I wanted to pivot real quick and talk about your charity work. There's a lot of talk about some of the efforts you've done in your own community. Tell the people what you've been able to do and how you've been able to give back. Yeah, I mean,
recently I had ordered like a little icy truck for one of the sites where they're doing COVID testing and COVID vaccines. You know, the workers work out there all day in the hot sun, and even if it's raining, they still gotta be out there to get their job done. So I just felt like, you know, me ordering a little icy truck, that's nothing for me to, you know, do that in a kind gesture. I mean, them people, like, they really appreciated that. So, you know, that's just something small. You know, I got a lot of other things that I'm working on behind the scenes that, you know, I'd rather get done than you know, act on it before I talk about it. But, you know, I've always had passion and, you know, growing up, you know, making a difference. And, you know, because I know with me growing up, where I came from, there wasn't much of that. And, you know, there was Asante Samuel who was in the NFL, but now, you know, it's a bunch of us from Broward. So, you know, my biggest thing, I'm just trying to bring all us from Broward together. You know, me, Lamar, Eddie Jackson, Calvin Ridley, Judy, Hollywood Brown. You know, it's a bunch of us, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like all of us on one team together, we can do powerful things in the community and really change the culture down there and see more kids' dreams come true because it happened with us, you know? So I'm just trying to, you know, do things from that aspect and, you know, reach my full potential before it's all said and done.
You're muted, Joe.
Fucking rookie ass move there. You mentioned earlier that you got a Simpsons piece of jewelry. So are you a big Simpsons guy?
I wouldn't say I'm a big Simpsons guy. I just really fuck with size. So you can, you know, like, cause my hair, his hair, you know, we look alike. Like, you know, like that's like my TV twin, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna drop it, man. Ain't nobody ever did that, nothing like that. So.
All right, what TV shows you watching then? Because I got something.
I've been watching only show. See, I don't really watch TV like that. Like, I click through Netflix, Prime, watch a little movie. But only show I really been tuned into lately is Snowfall.
Okay, no, I've heard crazy things about that. Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, that's the shit right there.
I'm gonna do a fuck, marry, kill, but never mind.
It's turning into your wheelhouse, Joey.
Yeah.
Robby, I mean, you're obviously super invested in the Panthers. You know, you guys didn't finish the season how you would have liked last year, but you guys have the number 8 pick in the draft. What's one area that you think you guys could really improve on for next year?
I think we can improve, like, in every area collectively. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody on the team has room for improvement. So I won't really single no area out or no one person or nothing like that. Because, I mean, we all can get better. Players, coaches, organization. I just think it's a broad thing. We just all around just need to all improve because we didn't reach our goals. So I don't know. I can't really say just one spot. I would just say everywhere, me included, you know?
Rob, last for me, man. One from the bottom of my heart, man. You sound like a brother that's at peace, man, and that's hard to find at any point in your career. I mean, it sounds like you've locked down, you're focused, you're at home. You found like you found something. I'm just amazed by everything you said today, man, and I'm really proud of you, especially your transition coming out, playing in New York, playing in the circus that you was in. It wasn't easy, and then it is not easy. But to see your progression and your maturation, man, I'm really, really happy for you. But my last question leaving out, man, is what are you going to do this off season, brother? Like, is it a situation where we're going to hit the grand and we're going to see you in fucking Tahiti somewhere, drinking a cold drink? Like, what's the move? Because with all that hard work, you need a little rest time. What's the move for you?
Now, first I want to tell you, man, I really appreciate that from the heart, bro. Like, you know, for sure. So I really appreciate that. But I mean, I took a trip earlier this year to Mexico. Me and my girlfriend, we took a nice little vacation there. I had went to Cali. I just went to Denver, Colorado. But, you know, I really just been, like, I had stepped off social media, Instagram, because I, like, you know, I don't really want to live my life where it's like I'm doing life and I'm reporting back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to give myself this time to enjoy my moments. And when I'm ready to, you know, jump back on the gram and show people what I want to show them, I show them, because I was really on some, like, real self-reflecting stuff and just trying to improve and really taking the moments and not feel like I'm living these moments to report back to social media. So I'm just really on some time where I'm just trying to, you know, figure out where I really want my life, the direction I want my life to go, and just doing the things that I've always wanted to do, you know, take trips and see the place I want to see while I continue to work and, you know, continue to find that peace as a man and, you know, just live my life to the fullest.